The Robinson R44 is one of the most popular private helicopters in the world, and it's more affordable than you think at first. But ownership comes with surprises: maintenance, insurance, overhauls, and fuel costs that add up fast. Today, we're breaking down the real cost of owning an R44 and what most buyers don't find out until it's too late. The Robinson R44 isn't just another helicopter. It's the most popular four-seat helicopter ever built, with over 5,000 units delivered worldwide. Frank Robinson didn't just design an aircraft when he created this machine. He democratized helicopter ownership. Before the R44, owning a helicopter was exclusively for the ultra-wealthy. Robinson changed that game forever. But let's cut through the marketing fluff and get to the brutal truth about what it really costs to own one of these machines. We're talking about numbers that'll make your wallet weep, hidden expenses that dealers won't mention, and maintenance requirements that could fund a small country's air force. The sticker price of a brand new Robinson R44 Raven II hovers around $450,000. That's for the basic model without any bells and whistles. Want the leather interior package? Add another $20,000. GPS navigation system? Another $15,000. Before you know it, you're pushing $500,000. And you haven't even talked about the real costs yet. Here's where it gets interesting and expensive. The R44 burns approximately 20 gallons of fuel per hour. At current aviation fuel prices of around $6 per gallon, you're looking at $120 per hour just in fuel. That weekend trip to the coast, that's going to cost you $300 in fuel alone, assuming you're flying for 2.5 hours total. But fuel is pocket change compared to the maintenance beast you're about to feed. The R44 requires an inspection every 100 hours of flight time. This isn't a quick oil change. We're talking about a comprehensive examination that typically costs between $3,000 and $5,000. If you're an average recreational pilot flying 50 hours per year, you're looking at 2 of these inspections annually. That's $8,000 minimum, just for routine maintenance. The annual inspection is where things get really expensive. Every 12 months, regardless of flight hours, your R44 needs a complete teardown and inspection. This process typically costs between $8,000 and $12,000. But here's the kicker. That's assuming nothing needs to be replaced. One worn component can easily double that cost. Engine overhauls are the stuff of nightmares for helicopter owners. The R44's Lycoming IO 540 engine has a time between overhauls of 2,000 hours. Sounds like a lot, right? For a recreational pilot, that's about 40 years of flying. But here's what they don't tell you. The engine also has a calendar limit. Whether you fly it or not, that engine needs to be overhauled every 12 years. The cost? Anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000. Let's talk about the main rotor system, the heart of any helicopter. The R44's main rotor blades have a life limit of 2,200 hours. Replacement costs? Around $30,000 for the set. The tail rotor isn't much better, with blades costing approximately $8,000 to replace. Insurance is another hidden monster. For a low-time pilot, expect to pay between $8,000 and $15,000 annually for hull and liability coverage. That's assuming you can even get coverage. Many insurers won't touch helicopter pilots with fewer than 100 hours of experience. Some require you to have at least 25 hours in type, which means you'll need additional training that can cost another $10,000. Stick around until the end to see the shocking truth about what Robinson doesn't want you to know about the R44's most controversial limitation and why it might save your life. Hangar costs vary wildly depending on location, but expect to pay between $300 and $800 per month for a decent covered hangar. That's another $4,000 to $9,600 annually. Some owners try to save money by tying down outside, but exposing a helicopter to the elements is asking for trouble. UV damage to the rotors alone can cost thousands in premature replacement. The avionics in your R44 aren't immune to the march of time either. That GPS system you paid $15,000 for? It'll need database updates every 28 days at around $600 annually. The transponder requires certification every 24 months. typically costing around $500. The pitot static system needs testing every 24 months as well, adding another $300 to your maintenance budget. Training costs are often overlooked but absolutely critical. The R44 has unique handling characteristics that require specific training. Most insurance companies mandate recurrent training every year, typically costing between $3,000 and $5,000. This isn't optional. It's a requirement for maintaining your insurance coverage. Let's break down the real annual operating costs for a typical recreational owner flying 50 hours per year. Fuel comes to $6,000. Insurance averages $10,000. Hangar rental hits $6,000. Scheduled maintenance and inspections total $15,000. Annual training costs $4,000. Miscellaneous parts and unscheduled maintenance add another $5,000. We're looking at $46,000 per year, or $920 per hour of flight time. But wait, there's more. The R44 has some quirks that can catch new owners off guard. The low rotor RPM warning system isn't just a suggestion, it's a life-saving device. The helicopter has a narrow rotor RPM operating range, and exceeding the limits can lead to catastrophic failure. This means you can't just jump in and fly like you would with a fixed-wing aircraft. Every flight requires careful attention to rotor RPM management. The R44's load limitations are another reality check. While it's marketed as a 4-seat helicopter, you'll rarely carry 4 adults with full fuel. The useful load is only about 650 pounds. That's 2 average-sized adults, half fuel, and maybe a small bag. Want to take 3 friends on a trip? You're looking at multiple fuel stops or leaving someone behind. The learning curve for helicopter operations is steep and expensive. Unlike fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters require constant control inputs. There's no such thing as trimming out a helicopter for hands-off flight. Every moment in the air requires active pilot participation. The training requirements reflect this reality. Most pilots need 40 to 60 hours of instruction before they're competent enough to fly solo. Depreciation is another factor that hits R44 owners hard. While the initial purchase price is lower than many helicopters, the R44 depreciates faster than most aircraft. A 5-year-old R44 typically sells for about 70% of its original value. After 10 years, you're looking at 50 to 60%. The high operating costs and maintenance requirements scare away many potential buyers in the used market. Here's what Robinson doesn't advertise. The R44 has a controversial mast bumping limitation. The helicopter can experience a phenomenon where the main rotor system contacts the mast under certain flight conditions. This has resulted in several accidents over the years. While proper training can prevent these scenarios, it's a limitation that doesn't exist in many other helicopter designs. The upside? This limitation has driven Robinson to develop some of the most comprehensive training programs in the industry, potentially making R44 pilots safer in the long run. The reality of R44 ownership isn't for everyone. Between the initial purchase price, ongoing operating costs, training requirements, and regulatory compliance, you're looking at a significant financial commitment. For the right person, someone with the financial resources, time to maintain proficiency, and genuine need for helicopter transportation, the R44 can be incredibly rewarding. But for most people dreaming of helicopter ownership, the numbers don't add up to a practical investment.